All right. Uh, Welcome to Mom and Dad Reviews. This is our first ever episode. I am your host, Adam, and your co host is Sarah. Our podcast will give you a view of life in the West, in particular, Australia. This is where we live, from an ethnic point of view. We are brown people raised in the West, and I came to Australia when I was 5. And Sarah, who is, by the way, my wife, came to Australia when she was 19. We got married at 19 and we have 6 children. We are both 35 years old, with only a month between us. I am older, of course. We aim to review products and talk about life in general. Before we get started, please support our sponsors: Crazy Wacky Superstore, Gem House Jewelers, Dressanista, Quilt Kingdom, and Cheeky Baby. Also, support Strident News and take advantage of giving to their homelessness project. Another organization is our website called familyfuntimeclub.com, in which we have a project to help out desperate children in need. So if you have any change, a few dollars, please give to that cause. If you would like to donate and support us, then we have a variety of methods you can do this. Firstly, you can visit familyfuntimeclub.com, and under the support and donation tab, you can select our cause, Mom and Dad Reviews, and make the payment through that. Otherwise, you can support us through PayPal or Patreon, as the links are in the slides and will also be in the description. So let's get on with the show. Our first episode will be talking about home birth and our journey to home birthing. So I'm gonna uh, hand it over to my co-host Sarah.
Hello everyone, this is Sarah, and today we're going to talk about our experience on home birthing. Currently we have 6 children, and 5 of them were born at home. And our first child was born at Gold Coast Hospital, and that's when we had the cesarean, and that's because of that reason we started doing home birth, because our experience was really bad. So it all started from the time when I went to the hospital to give birth to my first son in 2012. So the first nurse, the midwife, basically, she was a very nice one. She greeted us well and welcomed us, and it felt very good. We really appreciated how she treated us. Then she went away, and the new nurse started her shift. And then after that, that nurse wasn't like really clear what was she saying, and half of the time like she's not even there. And then she just comes in and says, oh, this is, you are me, like I'm fully dilated and stuff. And I'm like, she just puts her finger like in my vagina like so many times. Like she comes in and checks it again, like in a few minutes, like she comes back again and she does that, and she did it for a while, and then she's like, oh, you are fully dilated, we're gonna break your water. And we're like, no, 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 we want to do it everything naturally. She's like, no, if you break the water it will be fast. And at that point, like, we had no knowledge. I was like, this was my first birth, and I had no families here. I had no one like really to help me to understand what I'm gonna be going through. Like everybody, like the people you talk to, everybody will be giving you negative advice. There was no positivity or anything, like, so I was not familiar what I'm going to experience at the hospital at that point. So you're scared, you're nervous, you are in pain, you don't know what you're going through at that point, like what she's talking about, like, and then I said to her, like, strictly I said to her, no, I don't want it. I don't want to break my water, just do it naturally. And she's like, no, you're fully dilated, we're gonna break your water because we need to speed up the process. And she went ahead, she broke my water, and that's when everything went downhill. So my baby started, his heartbeat started raising, and he did the poop and everything. And then the
That's what they
obstetrician.
alleged. They alleged that he did a meconium. He did meconium, which is the baby's first poop. Um, didn't see any evidence of that at all, but that's what they said.
Yeah, then the obstetrician, she came in, and she was a student obstetrician on top of that. So she said that when she checked, then she said, "Oh, I'm only 3 centimeter dilated," to the midwife, and that you have broke the water. Now we have to do emergency cesarean on her. And at that point, like, we are like so tired and exhausted because I waited for so long, taking all the pain to do everything naturally, and here she comes and just broke my water, and then that's it, like all the effort gone to nowhere. Like, like we struggle like with all this pain and everything, went patiently, bearing all the pains patiently, and there she did, they actually seems like they were planned everything. They wanted to do cesarean on me that day. So
Yeah, so just to pause there, like afterwards, what I found out was that there were four other people giving birth in that suite at that very same time as we were, due to give birth. And one of the fathers actually came and thanked me and said that his wife told him thank us for taking the cesarean, because this student obstetrician was going around, um, uh, what would you say, room to room, forcing people to do cesarean. There was a couple with twins that night, and she was forcing that couple to do cesarean as well, but they managed to have normal delivery. And then this other man who came to thank me and say thank you, you guys took the cesarean. He told us that she was very forceful and she really wanted to do cesarean on his wife, and they managed to get away because she came after us. And there was another father there, and he told me exactly the same story, that his wife wanted to do it naturally, and that this student obstetrician was coming and trying to conduct cesarean on his wife too. So out of the four, we were the youngest. Of course, we just had both turned 23, and she came after us, and I was right there, guys. I was right there with my wife, and she's saying she doesn't want cesarean. She doesn't want any of that done. And I told her, look, okay, what you should do is push. And as she was pushing, I could see my son's head about to pop out. What they did immediately, this student obstetrician got her legs and crossed them over, and then told sort of radioed security to come and get me out of the room.
yeah, and told me not to push as well.
Yeah, and told my
Yeah.
wife not to push, and I'm like, look, she's about to give birth here. I can see the head about to come out, because but they didn't have any courtesy, no bar, nothing. They had no uh, what how would you say, they were like robots. They were terrible pieces of, you know we're so traumatized. They were just terrible people. Okay, they didn't want to listen to us. They didn't want to listen to the mother. That's her. They thought that they knew best, and so it just gets worse from here. They also, before that, they also put a catheter in her, and she's saying, no, no, I don't want the catheter. I don't want the catheter. And they forced this catheter up her. Um, and she's in pain. She's yells out. I can still remember her yell. It was a shrieking, piercing yell. It was terrible. I'm telling you, it was terrible. And there were just so many people at this point in the room, and I'm being pushed out. And before I know it, she's getting wheeled out, away from me, and being taken to surgery.
Yes, and while they were taking me to the surgery, I said I want my husband, and everything. And they like the obstetrician's like, he's coming, don't worry. And then they took me, and then there's this guy Max. His name was Max, and
Yeah,
he
Max, the
was.
obstetrician from Gold Coast at the time in 2010, he is a real piece of work. A real piece of work, I'm telling you. And the student cesarean's name, we know just as Jenny. And she is the worst person ever these two are the worst people to walk the earth. I hate them so much. We are so traumatized. We can't even, you know, really remember their faces that well. That's how traumatized we are from the experience that we had.
Yeah, as they were wheeling me inside the surgery room, he's standing in front of the door where the surgery room was, and he's like, "Oh, like they're trying to help you here." And I'm like, "I don't want cesarean." And they just wheel me inside, and all there's so many men in there. I don't even know who they were. There's
Yeah, and
like
by
just
the way, we
standing
said
there.
we requested no men to be present, but that doesn't happen.
It
There's
like
just so many men. Even the wardsman was in the
And he's
surgical
standing right up,
ward
like in front
in the
of
room.
my vagina, like he's watching everything. Like
Yeah, this wardsman, his only job is to wheel patients back and forth. Not to be in the surgery room watching my wife's vagina. This is disgusting. And on top of that, this is what I hate. If you're a male obstetrician and gynecologist, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're a pervert. You're a real piece of work. You know that you shouldn't be doing these things. We all know why you went and studied that, because you wanted to perv on the women. You were a despicable piece of garbage. There doesn't need to be male obstetricians and gynecologists, really. Really, that is a disgusting profession for any man to take up. This is purely should be a woman's field, you know? And yes, if there is need for it in times of emergencies, fine, okay? But you choosing to do this, you are a disgusting piece of scum.
yes, and when they wheeled me inside and they wanted me to sign this paperwork, and I said no, get my husband inside first because I'm in a lot of pain and I don't know what that paper is all about. He's like, just sign it, like, and your husband is coming, and
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
that was the anesthesiologist
yes.
with the obstetrician. Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah, that they had already given you a spinal tap, and then afterwards they asked you to uh, to sign the paperwork. And I've done law. I've got a doctor of law, and that is called assault. That is assault. But at that time, I was 23. I hadn't started law. Um, yeah, but that's the thing. We had very little knowledge, and we were taken advantage of.
Yeah, so he did it. He injected it, and then he's asking me to sign the paperwork, and I said no. Like, get my husband in there. Always lying. Your husband is coming. Your husband is coming, and they end up like even doing while doing the cesarean on me. Like before they did even cut my stomach, they did the forceps thing,
Oh
and
yeah,
and
the
pull.
forceps. They got these massive forceps out. I remember because I made as I went down to the surgery, I told the people there. I said, "Look, this is my son, right? And he's about to be born, and you're stopping me from seeing him." And then somehow these people they had some sort of change of heart because security was coming, but they said, "Okay, you got to calm down, and we'll take you in." So then I went in, and as I'm coming in, I just can hear my wife saying, "Look, I don't want cesarean, And then they said, "Okay, we'll try forceps first." So they brought this massive forceps in, and I can picture it. And they inserted it into my wife and tried to forceps my son out. When he did come out, his head was like ET. It was like one of those oblong
Alien looking.
watermelons, those. It was terrible. They could have actually killed him like that and ripped out his skull.
Yeah, it was scary looking. Like I was so scared. Like what's wrong with his head at that point? Like.
Fortunately, he's 12 now and he's fine and he's,
He's
as
healthy and
normal as
everything, but
anything. But, you know, at that time, knowing it was unknown, it was really, really
I mean, we
a
didn't
real
even
terrible
allow them
situation.
to do the forcep. There was nothing about forcep. They didn't tell us that they're going to do forcep and this and that. And they started doing that on us. And I think because she was a student, so she was just trialing on me,
Well, I
trying.
think because you were saying no, 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 then she said, like, I'm gonna do the forceps, you know. but it was just for show, to show, oh, like I did forceps, but nothing happened.
Yeah, and then on top of them, when she cut my stomach, she cut it so badly. It
Yeah, the
wasn't
cut on my wife's stomach, it's like a 7-year-old child trying to cut a straight line. It's just zigzaggedy. It looks terrible. It does not look like a professional did it at all. And really, this person wasn't a professional. This person was just an absolute lunatic and does not deserve to be in the position that she is in, and neither does that guy. But this is the thing. This is what we call professional killing in a clinical setting. They're the professional killers. Hiding under the guise of the hospital system. Terrible, terrible individuals.
exactly. We were the victims there, and these people are just all terrorizing us inside that room. And then even when the baby was born, like she took it out and gave it, and we told them like the umbilical cord thing. The nurse
Oh,
tried
you
to
mean,
get.
yeah, once the cesarean had occurred, they took the baby out, and as a slap in my face, they said, "Oh, you can cut the cord." Well, the cord had already been cut, and all I'm cutting is this small, inch, 2 centimeter piece of cord that's already been cut. As it's an insult. Like, is that supposed to make me feel better and make up for what we did, what they did? Seriously, it was it was a real joke.
Yes, and then after that, they transferred me to another place. I don't clearly remember where it was, but it was like a whole sort of an area where they were just checking my blood pressure and stuff. And it was high at that point. And but then they wanted me to feed my child straight away. But because we are Muslims, like we do.
Yeah, we got a ritual that we do. It's called tanig. So what it is chewing up a date and putting the little bit of juice in
Babies.
the baby's mouth, and letting that allows the baby to suckle. It's nothing big. It's just a little bit of juice. Put it in there so that
They get
he
the
or she can start suckling.
sugar as well, like the
Yeah,
vitamin K
well,
injection they
Muslims
give.
know about this. Non-Muslims would find it strange, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I have to really explain it too much. But that's just a little ritual that we do after birth. But we did it. We put our foot down and we did it. But we were looked upon as like strangers. And Muslims will understand what this is all about. Non-Muslims will probably think it's strange. Fair enough. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they think like we are crazy people. They are like, when I said no, I will do that first, and then I will feed my child. Like that's because I have a belief. I believe in this, and I wanted to do it before I do anything else.
And we
And
did it, so we can
so
move on.
yeah,
Most people won't understand.
yeah, and then yeah, then the wardsman shifted me to the ward now, like the normal ward. And they are like, my husband couldn't even stay with me for that night, because it was morning there anyway. And they,
Yeah, it was. I remember it was about 3:30 in the morning. Uh,
yes, and I couldn't even walk in anything because I'm paralyzed basically. They are on the bed, and I've got catheter in me and everything. And while my son is right next to me, but I can't even hold him or touch him. So I asked my husband like if you could stay tonight, like it's already morning,
I
but the
mean, you
nurses.
asked the nurses if I could stay.
Yeah, and the
Um,
nurses told us clearly, like, oh no, he can't stay here. But the other women
so I
next,
had to go home.
yeah,
I had to leave my wife and my child there. And my child hadn't even been washed. Uh, they just. I had to leave him there.
yeah, the whole. So there was another woman who came in, and they let her husband stay there all night. Like he was there till the morning, and he also came even the night after, like the day after, like, and he stayed there whole night with her. But my husband was not allowed. He's only allowed to come during the visiting hours, and that's it, and go. So the first day, I asked one of the midwife to shower my child because he looks very dirty and everything, and they said like, yeah, we're gonna do it, but now nobody did it. So I asked again in the night staff. So one of the lady midwife, she was an old one, and she came and she said, okay, I'll shower in front of you. So it's been the second day now. And then she said to me that, oh, I've never seen such a black kid, like a black baby like this ever before in
Yeah,
this hospital.
this is how racist it is in Australia. And at Gold Coast Hospital, we have to hear this. I've never seen such a black baby. Not dark. She said black
Black,
baby.
she used the exact word, black baby, like never
You know,
seen.
seriously.
So like, how come you have never seen a black baby, like? And he's she's saying, this is my first child ever born who's black in this hospital, like. And another thing, like, then like she showered and everything, but that
What
really
do you mean she
upset it.
showered and everything?
She showered the baby,
The,
gave her
the lady
gave,
that said black baby.
yeah, because I asked her like a few times, and then she said, I'm busy, I can't do it. But then I said to her, I want it done now. I've been
So you were
asking.
saying,
And then she
okay.
said, okay, we'll do it. Then she got a student nurse, and she also helped, like, and then they both did it together. And so after that, like, I was really upset with the way they were treating us, like treating me actually in the hospital. Like, I had no privacy. And the next morning, this Max dude comes in with a bunch of students, like about 25 students.
And keep in mind, we said we don't want any males to be present. Keep in mind. And then this is the invasion of privacy right here.
Yeah, I always ask the midwife to close all the curtains for me, because I wear hijab, I cover myself, and I wasn't covered at that point. So I ask her all the time, because other men used to come and visit their wives there. So I told them to cover it. They always used to put the curtain, and they come in, it's always closed. So I had my privacy. So this Max dude just comes in, opens the curtain, and there's so many like male doctors, like student doctors. They were all standing there, and they're just all watching me. Like, I got shocked, like 6 o'clock in the morning. He's there with all the bunch of students, and then he's like saying, oh, she should be happy. At least she's could see, her child, is all healthy and was born okay and everything. They're so ungrateful to us, and he's just saying so many nasty things, and then he left. And then I was like, I was upset, I was crying, like, the way he just brought in everybody. And I can't even walk at that point, like, I'm still like bedridden, and I'm in a lot of pain and everything. And he just left like that, and he didn't go to any other bed, just my bed, just to humiliate me. And then I said to my husband, like, I can't take this anymore. So one of the midwife came, and I said to her, I want to go home now. I want to go home. And then she said to me, then she brought a dietitian to me. And then the dietitian is here and asking me like, oh, I just wanted to ask you, is your husband abusing you? Why you want to go home, I'm like, I want to go home because I'm not getting the service that I should be getting here.
Yeah, because I look Muslim, it's Muslim men oppress their wives. So that's what it was. Blatant racism and bigotry.
Yes, and I got very angry at that woman. And then I was like, I said, this is, only Muslim men abuse their wife. They are the one oppressing their wife. This is wrong. I said, my husband loves me a lot. I said to her straight up, and I said, I am the one who wants to go back. I don't want to be here. I don't feel comfortable. I want my child and I to go home and have good rest as well, because I couldn't even eat properly there. I can't even go and shower properly. No nurse helped me even go to the shower. I had to walk myself, and I was feeling dizzy and everything, and go and have shower and come back myself, and everything. So I said to my husband, like, I'd rather be good. I'd rather go home and, rest there. I think I feel more better and good than being in the hospital here and treated like this. So I just asked them, and they said like, okay, like, if you want to go home, you die, it's your problem. I said to them, yes, I don't care what you think, but I want to go home now. So I packed my stuff and we just left, like you left the hospital. And I said to my husband, I don't ever want to go back to that hospital or any other hospital.
Yeah, but before you packed your stuff, I came to pick you up
Yeah.
because I wasn't allowed in the hospital, I wasn't until visiting hours. And I came back the next day, and uh, they wanted to give you a blood transfusion,
Yeah.
and I said, no way, you don't need that. And I know, uh, because I was in the health field before that, I know the dangers of blood transfusion, and I've seen firsthand what it has done to certain people. Uh, and it's really not a good thing unless it's really life threatening. And I saw, and it wasn't life threatening. But anyway, uh, that's yeah. We left. They came and they said, you can't leave without signing the paperwork. I said to my wife, don't sign the paperwork. My wife, she signed the paperwork. You know, in hindsight, she should not have signed any paperwork. We should have just walked out of the hospital because of the way we were treated. But that's just the way it was. And on top of that, they signed the paperwork. We've signed the paperwork and everything, and they didn't even give us a wheelchair. So she's on these heavy drugs and everything, and we have to walk about a good 800 meters to get to the car. So out of the ward and everything, and she's on the heaviest of painkillers and whatever else they gave her. She was on, and she was feeling very dizzy, very weak. But anyway, I managed to get her in the car, and we managed to get home. And then I went and got her a whole bunch of vitamins and a whole bunch of other medications that will help her out with what she was experiencing. That first night, she was out like a light. Um, Luckily, we had some formula we gave to the baby, and then after that, he started suckling quite nicely. That's just an experience that we don't ever want to repeat. They were talking about keeping her for a week or so in that hospital. Um, it was so bad. Even the tea lady that came past refused to even give my wife and I tea. This little Asian tea lady, she was also influenced by the the attitude of the staff working there. She thought she's some big boss as well, when her job was just to give tea. And I thought, this is just adding insult to injury, seriously. But that's the way the hospital system is in Australia. If you have money and you want to do it privately, just remember we went down this avenue as well. If you want to give birth to your child privately and you think the experience will be different, um, but they deem it an emergency, well, you're just going to end up in a public system, and they're going to end up treating you. Then you will be transferred back to the private system. The private system only gives you a bed and allows, visitors, like they're more flexible with the visitors. And that's it, right? So there's not really much difference in Australia, of course, between private and public when it comes to birthing, right? So, like we mentioned, we had 6 children. So after this experience, we never went back to the hospital to give birth. My wife never did. She did it at home. We did it without any nurses or midwives or doctors. Uh, we did 5 of these. So our next son came along, and we did that at home so easily. So easily. It was so easy and so much better. Yes, there was a little bit worry. What about, the cord gets tangled around the neck or gets stuck or something like that. You deal with it when it happens. As long as the baby's facing down, your wife, the mother is she is confident in what she's doing, and you're helping her out. You know, I don't see a problem. I don't see a problem at all, because women have been doing this for
Many years.
millions of years.
Yeah.
It's only lately that we've got this, these hospitals that have come out and started cesarean every woman, you know. And it's just it's it it's amazing how many women actually get cesareans. I mean, I'm not talking about the ones that go in and want cesarean. I'm talking about the ones that just go in trying to do it naturally and then they end up having a cesarean and under the bullshit, you know, guise of it's an emergency. So yeah, we had our second child and he came out perfectly, you know. I cut his cord. We didn't take him to the hospital or anything, and perfect, healthy baby, no needles, nothing like that, no vaccines, and he's now 10 and is healthy to this day.
And another thing regarding cesarean, like how they say you can't give birth until like you have to wait, you know, because they think that the cesarean will rupture and things like that, and
Oh
they
yeah,
tell you all
that you
that
have to wait a
risk.
certain amount of
12
years.
months or is it 2 years? 2 years.
I
I
don't know
feel
how
like.
many, what it was, but yeah, they were just talking nonsense, right? We are fortunate that my wife didn't lose her uterus, which is very good. Then we had our third child, and we did that at home, again without any nurses or any doctors or any of that. And she came out perfectly as well. Uh, no issues, nothing.
And
Uh,
we never went to any checkup, nothing.
no, with her we
Everything
never
we
went to
did it
any
at
checkup or
home.
anything, and she's healthy. She's 8 now. She's walking around like an ox. She's healthy as. Um, yeah, that was our third. So then our fourth child, we did this one at home too, and yeah, he was healthy. I think there was a cord issue with him. Yeah,
No,
the
no, it was with the third one.
the cord issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a cord issue with one of them, with a couple of them actually. Um, but the first time the cord issue happened, it was wrapped around twice. You know, all you have to do is just flick it over the neck. Not a big deal. Not what it's nothing like the movies, you know, the cord is wrapped around the neck, the baby's not breathing, you know, all of this nonsense. No, 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 no. No, nothing like that. It's just a quick flick over the neck. Just bauble the baby's nose and everything, and they're fine. Um, then the fifth one came out perfect. You know, we didn't go to any doctors or anything with him either.
Exactly,
And
yes.
then our last one, our sixth, we did at home, and this is all in Australia. So she had the cord wrapped around her neck as well. Um, Not a big issue. She didn't cry for a little bit. Um, for about took about 30 to 45 seconds for her to start crying. Because cord was around her neck, so just removed the cord around her neck, baubled her, and she started crying, and she was all good. Nothing,
Yes.
nothing. We by the sixth time we were professionals at it.
And
We knew exactly what to do.
exactly, like a mother knows how your body works anyway. You go with the pain and
Yeah,
push when your body is telling you to push. It's so easy. Like, it's not that hard.
and
Like,
I'm telling you, within an hour, my wife, after these natural births, she was just up and walking. It it was like nothing had happened. She was just a little bit weak. She ate some food and she was all good, breastfed. We were with our family at home. It was beautiful.
yes,
You
just
know,
take normal vitamin D, iron tablets and stuff, and that's all you need. Like,
that's
it's a normal thing for women to lose iron anyway. It's a common thing. So I know what I'm doing, and I just keep up with my vitamins and stuff, and everything went well. And we have six beautiful children, healthy. Nobody has any issues. And maybe in the future, we're still gonna do homework.
yeah. If we have another child, yeah. If that's what your wish is, then we will do more home birthing.
It's
But
really,
the thing
really
is, like,
easy.
what we want to say is that it's not a difficult job to deliver a baby at home. You know, really, it's not. And if you have faith and you understand that sometimes babies die, this is something that happens. Uh, you know, but you have a lot of faith, a lot of conviction there, and you're sturdy and you're open that whatever happens, it's going to happen. That's just life, right?
Exactly. It happens in the hospital system as
It
well.
happens a lot in the hospital
Yes,
systems, but they
exactly.
don't
We know
disclose
people
it.
that have been
It's
through
only
that.
if it happens at home, it's a big deal, you know? Like, you see on the news every now and then, a father delivers a baby in the bathroom. You know, here, this is what happens in Australia. And it's big news. You know, we've delivered 5 times at home, and nobody comes to cover our births. Nothing like that, because these are success stories, and they don't want to cover that. They want to cover, oh, she delivered at home and the baby died, and look at them, they're so stupid, they did this. Seriously, seriously, like, people need to come to reality. Babies die. Um, I'm not saying that this is for everybody. It's certainly not for everybody. It's for people who are strong, who have a strong conviction, who we are very religious, so we rely on our Creator. Uh, but as for everybody else, it's up to you. You believe in science, you whatever, You're not strong enough to do this, don't do it. Don't do it. You don't need to do it. It's but I'm telling you, if for those that have done it and those who are thinking of doing it, it is a very beautiful experience, and it brings you closer to your child, and all that struggle and all that pain you go through. Yeah, I mean, I
As
can't speak for the pain my wife can, but the struggle as a man, like, you have to bear the blame of the blamers, the people that are, out there who are negative, all these health professionals that come on board, and they start saying, oh, these guys are nutcases, they did this, you have to bear that. Um, but apart from that noise, that nonsense, it is a very beautiful thing to do, and you become closer to your wife, you become closer to your children. um,
and another thing is your children are all there supporting you as
yeah,
well.
they
Like
support
the
you.
little ones just watching you, Mama, are you okay? Like you feel so good, like, they care for you and they're giving you
As
water and everything.
one thing I would say, as fathers, we don't get credit for being the support. We're there supporting. Like, for me, I supported my wife, cord the baby, cut the cord, put the diaper on, put the clothes on, help to get out, and then it is a big mess. There's a big mess to clean up afterwards, and my wife never cleaned it up. I cleaned it up. Uh, yeah, so it is a pretty big mess you have to clean up, but that's just part of birthing. Just be aware of that.
We always did water bath, and it's really good water bath. I mean, for me, I personally like really enjoy giving water bath. It's really calming, and it also helps with the pain, the warm water. And I enjoy like just sit, relax, and enjoy, and just go with the flow and push when your body needs you to push, and just stop when you don't go over. And that's how you won't even you have a tear like that. So just listen to your body, and it's a wonderful experience. Like if you want to go ahead, try, and I know definitely, like as a mother, I feel really close to my children, because whatever pain I've been through, looking at their beautiful faces, and as a family, been through, together. We've done this together, and that's a beautiful thing. Like, and it's a good experience because you're in your home setting, it's private, and it's more calm, and nobody's here to stress you out. No, so many men, like, or people you don't want to be around you, unnecessary people. It's relaxing. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so this is our experience with home birth. If you have any comments or anything like that, just email us or drop the comments. Drop your questions in the comments box. We'll be distributing these. This is our first podcast. We'll be distributing it to many platforms. It was really soothing talking about our experience. Um, Again, guys, if you want to support us, you can. If you have the visual links there, you can donate to us through PayPal or Patreon. Also, support our sponsors, Crazy Wacky Superstore. They have some amazing things there. It's an online store. Gem House Jewelers, amazing jewelry. Dressinista, uh, they have. So like it's
Women's
yeah,
dresses
women's dresses and
and
that.
Cheeky Baby,
Yeah.
children's
And
outlet.
okay, yeah, but what I wanted to say is like, if you're gonna go to Crazy Wacky Superstore, you just put .com. So we just forgot to say, crazywackysuperstore.com. It's got general merchandise. Gemhousejewelers.com has got jewelry. Dressinista.com has got dresses, and quillkingdom.com. It's got a lot of beddings. It's a bedding store. It's all online, and cheekybaby.com. So it's CHEEKYBABEE.com. That has a lot of baby products. It's a very good store. All of these stores are online. You might also want to check out Strider News and support their homelessness project. Give a few dollars to them. Or you could check out familyfuntime.club, familyfuntimeclub.com, and give to the
Needy
desperate
children.
children that need help. They've got very good causes there. Your money will be going to helping uh, the either homelessness or these desperate children. Um, as you know, we don't have to talk too much about that. There are a lot of children struggling. A lot of families today, they're struggling as well, and these causes help the families and the children out, and even our community who are living in homelessness. So, guys, thank you very much. This was our first podcast. It would be fantastic if you could like, subscribe, um, and
Support us.
support us. When we see the donations come in to support for us, then we'll know we're doing good, we're doing well. Anything else? Any other issues you want to pick up?
No, that's that's it.
All
And
right.
yeah,
Thank you, guys. And if we've said anything horrible, anything mean, anything anything offensive, forgive us. That wasn't
our
our
intention,
intention. We're just talking about our experience.
feelings, emotions,
Yeah,
like what we went
emotions.
went through. It's very painful to talk about it as well.
Yeah. But forgive us if we've offended you or said anything wrong. Um, we wish you all good health, good wealth, and a good day. Bye.
Thank you.